Hey guys, what's going on? I'm John Malecki and I'm here at Woodpeckers headquarters. Now, as you guys know, if you follow me, I love live edge slabs. One thing that goes into building anything with live edge slabs is the flattening process. Now, I've used jigs in the past that have been handmade and homemade mostly, whether those are wood and metal, but Woodpeckers has come out with an out-of-the-box solution for flattening slabs. This thing is amazing. I'm here to test it out and show you guys how to use it. So first I want to talk about the aluminum extrusions. These things come perfectly straight out of the box. They're also ribbed in order to minimize deflection. They have this cool inverted V that keeps sawdust from settling on top when in use as well. Where all of the metal parts touch, there's a little plastic strip. It's actually a UHMW strip, which is a very slippery plastic. And it's used in order to keep friction reduced and let this thing slide like butter. So an awesome feature of the jig is its modular design. It allows for expansion not only with the length of the slab, but also with the width, because both extrusions are the same design. It uses these rail connectors that use a simple hex key to attach them, and you can make this thing as big as you would ever need it to be. So the jig itself has its own dedicated router mount. It mounts 14 different bases, and it accommodates most 2¼ horsepower and large size routers. What's really cool about this is that it's very, very difficult to tip over or dig into your materials. So possibly my favorite feature about the jig is that because it's made in components that aren't locked together, you can easily take it apart and store it away. You simply unscrew these rails and you can tuck this anywhere in your shop. So once you have everything assembled and you're ready to route, you want to make sure that you properly shim and hold down your piece of work to the tabletop. For this, you can use wooden shims and some hot glue, and you also want to use these little hold down dogs that come with the kit. You simply screw them into the table and they keep everything from moving around, and then you're ready to route. So now that everything's ready to flatten, you want to find the highest point on your slab. I typically do this by hand and just find a high point. Then you want to take your router, bring it into where that high point is, drop it down to the surface, and lock your depth stop to that height. From there, I'll use the adjustments on the router itself in order to get my depth of cut. So for this application, we're going to be using a surfacing bit. Woodpeckers offers multiple surfacing bits. Here we have a brazed surfacing bit, which is going to be your more standard looking bit. And then you have the new indexing surfacing bit with the adjustable carbides on it. Both of these are awesome. I've used them both in the past, and they both do a fantastic job. All right, make some dust. So a good way to test how flat your piece actually is to take a flashlight and a straight edge. If you can shine the flashlight behind the straight edge and see light coming through, you know you still have a little bit of work to do. But as you can see here, straight off of the jig, it's perfectly flat and there's no light coming through under it. So we've wrapped up the milling now, and it pretty much went perfectly. A few things that are really nice about the jig compared to a shop-made jig are that it stays perpendicular as you use it because of the references and using that reverse V on each of the extruded rails. What's also really nice is the width of the router plate allows it to stay nice and square to wherever you're using it, so it's not jostling around or moving a ton. Having both handles was also something that I really enjoyed using, and it was just a pleasure compared to the shop-made jigs that I've typically used.